good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another echoey installment of the Two Fellas Online Pub Quiz with myself, Simon, and deep in the background there in the digital space is our bearded fellow marking your answers this week. It's Mike. So good evening, everybody. I say welcome back to another online pub quiz with myself. This is online pub quiz number 33. I'm just making sure you can hear me. There we go. Building my microphone. Excellent. So Mike is back at the Two Fellas, as they are allowed now people into the beer garden. So if you're lucky enough to be in Berlin, or at least a nice part of Berlin, go over to the Two Fellas. Just go onto the Two Fellas website on the Instagram post, and you can check out everything you need to know in order to safely visit the Two Fellas. We will get going with the quiz very, very shortly. I really apologize for another delay as we go further in this road of moving away from Berlin. I have been relegated further and further into the realms of uncomfortability. As you can now see, I'm now in the kitchen, and having sent pretty much everything off. Who thought Brexit was a good idea? Pages upon pages of custom forms filled in. We're here at Friday. I've got a bottle of champagne to enjoy. As I say, tatty bye. So, let's hope all this works out a little bit better from here on out. We'll begin with round one. For everybody who is returning to the pub quiz, welcome. For everybody who is new, also welcome. If you are new to the pub quiz, click into the description below and you can find the links to all of the answer papers that we'll be using throughout the evening. At the end of every round, I will type into the chat a time. I'll also announce a time in which you have to have your answers in by, so that they are promptly marked and we can get on through the evening's agenda. Our quiz is made up of 4 rounds. Round 1 is our easier general knowledge round. Round 2 is our theme round. This week the theme is escape. Round 3 is our music round, where you will hear 10 incredible covers of popular songs before we finally go on to our harder round, that is round 4, a return to the general knowledge.
Awesome. This isn't for me. It's for you.
What?
It's for you.
What's for me?
This is for you.
Please, Simon, thank you all for your hard work at the Fellas Making Peace and doing quizzes. We're going to miss you, but wish you good luck with the move and the job hunt. For all those fellas, use this cape for inspiration and current international man of mystery, Mike, Rob, Dylan, and Marcus. Wow, well, thank you, everybody at the Two Fellas. That is quite a surprise.
So it's nice to start an evening with cake, isn't it?
It is lovely to start an evening with cake.
I love the voucher and everything.
I get a voucher whenever you be selected. Win a voucher of €50. It's fantastic. Wow. Well, that's a surprise.
Yeah, isn't it?
Oh, there's got to be a picture on this, isn't there?
I think there is. I don't know what it is. With the dog watching you. Oh, it's beautiful.
It's a collection of Mike's finest work as a picture of cake. Somebody had to put this together. Well, I very much look forward to chomping into this a little bit later on.
You should show the people.
To show the people. It'll be easier if I coming on a journey. So thank you to the fellas for this magnificent cake. Yes, and thank you, Rob, Mike, Dylan, and Marcus. Are very much appreciated. And also, good luck to the new staff at the fellas. who'll be making pizza. Now I've disattached this camera. This is going to be some sort of...
Do you want me to remove the cake?
Yeah, that'll help. It's going to be some Cloverfield level of filmmaking coming up. And I've sat on the wire. Oh, there we go. This is a very ad hoc situation. Oh, thank you. I guess on with the quiz. All right, so we'll get on with round one as I will drink champagne and chomp into a cake. I may match Simon's face with Simon's face and just make one. All right, okay, round one, question one is, who played Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz? There you go. I've even helped you out with a picture so you can put a face to the name as well. So there we go.
Happy?
Yeah, I'm quite surprised. So, yeah.
Good.
Cheers. I'll take a picture and... Oh, even my camera is detecting my faces. All of them at the same time. So, who played Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz 1939 version that you see there? Okay, let's move on to question two. What is the name given to the French military service branch founded by King Louis Philippe in 1831? Insert space. And that is made up with people from over 140 different countries. So what is the name of the French military service branch that's made up with people from over 140 different countries and was founded by King Louis Philippe in 1831? So, what is the name given to the French military service branch founded by King Louis Philippe in 1831 and that is made up with people from over 140 different countries? And yes, again, I realised there's a few times in this that I was supposed to correct questions as I was going along, and I didn't do that, so this is going to be a fun adventure. Keyboard warriors at the ready. And I go a little bit more into the dark. Oh, turn the brightness, that might help. There we go. All right, question three. Which is the largest US state by area? No trick questions. Which is the largest United States state by area? I've got the theme music to the quiz in my head. Bopping along with my box of potatoes. Yes, yeah. Can't do a quiz without a box of potatoes. Question 3, which is the largest US state by area? It shouldn't take you too long to debate, so we'll go on to 4. With which female fashion designer is this logo associated? So with which female fashion designer is this logo associated? You're going to be able to enjoy the sunset. Happens this way, so you're going to be able to enjoy the sunset going on behind me. So with which female fashion designer is this logo associated? On to question 5. Which office sharing startup reported a 2.06 billion US dollar quarterly loss this week? So which office sharing startup, I use startup loosely because it's been going for quite a long time now, reported a 2.06 billion US dollar quarterly loss this week? This is the startup company that paid off one of its chief operational officers with almost 1 billion US dollars to leave the company a few years ago and own some prime real estate in Berlin. Not only did they own most of the Sony Center at Potsdamer Platz, they also own some luxurious buildings in Berlin's Mitte, as well as many, many, many offices all over the world, especially in places like London. So what is their name? It's office sharing startup that reported a 2.06 billion US dollar quarterly loss this week. That's a quarterly loss. Imagine how much to do with 2.06 billion. What is that equatable to? So, if you want to know in real terms how much 2.06 billion is, the entirety of the Scottish whisky exporting industry in 2020 was worth around 4 billion. So this company was able to shed value at a rate of in a quarter that what would be covered in 6 months if they continue to make a loss of the Scottish whisky export industry. There we go. Some real life perspective there. Right, on to question 6. In which city is this weekend's Eurovision Song Contest taking place? This 1 year delayed Eurovision Song Contest when for the Icelandic entrant, they were a sure win on winners last year, now can't take part because one of their team got corona. So they are now doing a pre-recorded session. But where is the actual competition? In front, I think it's in the front of a live audience as well, taking place. Which city? I'll give you a little. I can move you around a little bit. Don't want to see my bald spot or anything. I'm not sure if I have one. So there we go. There's a sleeping doggo. Much easier with this camera just to show you around a little bit. Sleeping doggo. This is a sleeping doggo who sharted all over the bedroom earlier on today. So it's always fun having a cute little thing. And then the pièce de résistance. Well, the dog's the pièce de résistance. But let's go for the view. I don't know if you can see it. You should be able to see the TV tower out there in the distance. And Tempelhofer Fell is just there. And then over out this way, you see the sunset, and out there's the Funkturm somewhere in the distance. A bit of a grand tour. Say grand, it's not that grand a tour. I just casually flash a bottle of champagne in the background. Not that I drink it very often at all. So let's move on to question 7. Which actor and former wrestling star has been confirmed to star in the sequel to Knives Out? So which actor and former wrestling star, he started off in WCW and went across to WWE, whatever it's called now. If it's still called that, I have no idea. Those days are long in my past. But which actor and former wrestling star has been confirmed to star in the sequel to Knives Out? Knives Out, directed by the same chap who directed that appalling... What was it called? The Star Wars film in the middle where they just decided to go off on a tangent for a whole film. What was that called? Rise of the Skywalker? Is that the second one? Oh, raining over Mitter. So which actor and former wrestling star has been confirmed to star in the sequel to Knives Out is your question 7. We move... the spellings are not, as most of the writing of this quiz, are not overly important. As long as you get it phonetically sounding correct, it's good enough. 8. Which Canadian singer-songwriter is famous for the albums Harvest, On the Beach, and After the Gold Rush, amongst many others? But which Canadian singer-songwriter is famous for the albums Harvest, On the Beach, and After the Gold Rush? So which Canadian singer-songwriter is famous for the albums Harvest, On the Beach, and After the Gold Rush is your question 8. Let's move on to question 9. Question 9. Baby, can't you see I'm calling? A guy like you should wear a warning. It's dangerous. I'm falling. There's no escape. I can't wait. I need a hit. Baby, give it to me. Give me it. You're dangerous. I'm loving it. Are the opening lyrics to which song? To get the full point, I want the artist and the song. They're actually the two opening verses. So, baby, can't you see I'm calling? A guy like you should wear a warning. It's dangerous, I'm falling. There's no escape, I can't wait. I need a hit. Baby, give me it. You're dangerous, I'm loving it. Are the opening lyrics to which song? Artist and the song to get the full point. This white balance is completely off. Nope. unbranded cameras from Amazon. Amazon, the slightly nicer Wish. Nope, almost sung it. You don't get me yet. So, as an announcement for the pub itself, completely agree, Garrick. As an announcement for the pub itself, the beer garden is now open. Of course, inside is still verboten, but outside drinking is entirely possible. You are allowed. There is, for anybody who is slightly worried, there is a testing center across the street. The limit is 5 people from 2 households. However, those who have recovered in the last 6 months as well as fully vaccinated do not count towards that number. I'm going to post into a chat if you do want to pop along and see the 2 fellas, say hello. I myself will be there on Sunday making delicious pizzas. They're open at the moment, Thursday through to Sunday, from 5 until 9:30 in the evening. I'm putting a link so you can familiarize yourself to the 4 rules and support the 2 fellas in person for the first time since October. Not an insignificant amount of time there. All right, let's go on to final question for the round, which is question 10, which is, other than Monacan, what is the demonym for the people of Monaco? Other than Monacan, what is the demonym? Demonym? I really don't know how to say that. For the people of Monaco. Well, somebody from Germany is a German. Somebody from Britain is British. What, other than Monacan, is somebody from Monaco? And as we go through, before I give you the final time for this round, I do want to say thank you to everybody for turning up this evening for this online pub quiz. I do realize it's insanely tempting at the moment to go out and support your local beer garden, support the True Foes. But it's still lovely to see so many people still turning up online for the pub quiz. If you do enjoy the pub quiz, don't forget you can donate via PayPal using the address donate@twofellers.beer. But most importantly, pop down to see the fellas with a negative test or fully vaccinated, or if you've recovered, Peter, in the last 6 months as well. Go along and see the chaps. See myself on Sunday. It'll be lovely to see everybody and also just to keep the 2 fellas going. So I will give you until 2032, until 32 minutes past the hour to get your answers in. I'll type that in the chat. You are getting treated to a lovely sunset. I'm watching it here. All right, so you got about 3 minutes to get your answers in, and then we will crack on quickly with the answers before moving on to our theme round, which is escape. Love these things that come off bottles, like rock caption. Traditional fidget spinners. That's a slice of pizza. now get to see the magnificent cake in all of its glory. There we go. Thank you again, fellas. Dylan and Marcus as well. I'm gonna chop into my own face right now. I actually didn't. I chopped into Jessica Rabbit. Ooh, look at that. So about 2 minutes to get your answers in. Less than 2 minutes. Oh, a little bit low now, aren't we? It's bloody. Is it? There we go. Okay, so that should be enough time to get your answers in. I'm going to close the door. It's cold out. Right, it's enough time to get your answers in. Mike will now, whilst he's waiting tables, lock the answers down, and we will move on to the answers for round one. So the answers are as follows. Round one. It was Judy Garland who played Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz in 1939, who made the role most famous. The name given to the French military service, made up of 140 people from 140 different countries, is the French Foreign Legion, and it's still running today. Funnily enough, they don't swear honour to the state. They don't swear to France. They swear to the Legion in itself. Hence why France is slowly merging towards that whole civil war. 3, what is the largest US state by area? It is, of course, Alaska. Don't forget about that little place up there in the northwest. It's Vivienne Westwood who uses that symbol a lot in her designs. The office sharing startup. Apparently, I didn't put the answer down. The answer for number 5 is WeWork. Let's hope I did the answers for the rest. 6, the city in which the Eurovision Song Contest is taking place is Rotterdam, where I will myself be next Wednesday as I get a train out of Berlin. 7, the actor and former wrestling star who has been confirmed to star in the sequel to Knives Out is Dave Bautista, also known for his role, is it Drax, or something similar in Guardians of the Galaxy. The Canadian singer-songwriter who's famous for the albums Harvest on the Beach and After the Gold Rush is Neil Young. Baby, can't you see I'm calling? Guy like you should wear a warning. It's dangerous. That's as much as I'm singing. Is Britney Spears' Toxic. That's probably terrible as well. The song gets stuck in my head. I just can't translate that into that. Right. And 10, Monegasques is the demonym for the people of Monaco. So those were your questions for round 1. We now move on to round 2. So going into the description below, you can find the links for round 2 there. Open up the answer sheet. Make sure you answer, put in your team name exactly as you did for the first round, just to make marking much easier for Mike. And we go on to the theme round with round 2, question 1, which is, what type of animal was Inky? An animal that escaped from the National Aquarium of New Zealand by slipping through a hole in its enclosure, sliding across the floor, and then descending a 50-meter long drain pipe into the sea. So what type of animal was Inky? It was an animal that escaped from the National Aquarium of New Zealand by slipping through a hole in its enclosure. It then slid across the floor, roughly around about 8 feet or just under 3 meters, 2.5 meters or so. And then it managed to descend a drain pipe 50 meters down and then escaped into the ocean, not to be seen again. Question 1, one more time, then we'll move on. What type of animal is Inky? An animal that escaped from the National Aquarium of New Zealand by slipping through a hole in its enclosure, sliding across the floor, and then descending a 50-meter drain pipe into the sea. On to question 2. What is the name of the Aardman Animation Studios film, which is heavily influenced by the film The Great Escape? So what is the name of the Aardman Animation Studios film, which is heavily influenced by The Great Escape? Classic film, one of my favorite, well, actually, the latter one is my favorite film. The other one is one of my favorite films. And not just because the latter is my favorite film. So 2, what is the name of the Aardman Animation Studios film which is heavily influenced by The Great Escape? We'll move on to question 3, which is, Escape from Alcatraz is a movie starring which famous actor in the lead role who was also famous for Dirty Harry and Gran Torino, amongst others? Gran Torino is a great film. It is a great film. Just going to get a top up of my drink. Let's move on to question 4. I forgot to close the door again. You can see question 4 on your screens now. Quote goes, crawled through a river of shit and came out clean on the other side is a quote from which movie? I should have put an ellipses at the beginning. Starts with a name. Crawled through a river of shit and came out clean on the other side is a quote from which movie? One of the highest ranking movies of all time. Question 4 was crawled through a river of shit and came out clean on the other side. Is a quote from which movie? Let's move on to 5. Who is this? She was born into slavery but managed to escape using the Underground Railroad. She would later return 13 times to where she was enslaved, I think it was Maryland, to rescue around 70 others. So who is that you see in the image there? She was born into slavery in Maryland, but managed to escape using the Underground Railroad. She would later return 13 times to where she was enslaved to rescue around 70 others, and not just people from her own family. So here's the lady you see in the image there. She was born into slavery but managed to escape using the Underground Railroad. She would later return 13 times to where she was enslaved, somewhere in Maryland, to rescue around 70 others. That's question 5. On to question 6. Which famous Hungarian escape artist is picture here? Which famous Hungarian escape artist is pictured here? I will enlarge that photo. There we go. So who is that? Who do you see in that picture? So which famous Hungarian escape artist is pictured here? We'll move on to question 7. 7. Let's try again there. 7. E5C4P3 is a 1981 album by which band? So E5C4P3, or Escape, is a 1981 album by which band? You certainly know this band. About 10 years ago, one of their songs, thanks to, I think, the show Glee, went incredibly big once again, returning them to the top of the charts. And the song that was famous about 10 years ago, what featured on this album, E5C4P3. Which band was it by? All right, let's move on. Question 8. 8, there we go. With which mode of transport did 3 members of the Provisional Irish Republican Army use to escape Mountjoy Prison, Dublin, in 1973? Which novel way of escaping prison, not the only case of using this method to escape prison, did 3 members of the Provisional Irish Republican Army, also known as the IRA, used to escape Mountjoy Prison in Dublin in 1973? So question 8, with which mode of transport did 3 members of the Provisional Irish Republican Army use to escape? Which mode of transport did 3 of the members of the use to escape Mountjoy Prison, Dublin in 1973? I think my brain's putting an extra word in there. On to question 9. From which Luftwaffe POW prisoner of war camp did those involved in the events made famous in the movie The Great escape from? So what was the name of the Luftwaffe POW camp that those involved in the events made famous in the movie The Great escape from? What was the name of that POW camp? If you haven't seen the movie, I obviously highly recommend it, seeing it is my favourite movie. I did my degrees in film studies. I think at least 2 of my essays every year were mentioning The Great Escape. It was either Great Escape or German Expressionism. Poor lecturers and seminar leaders had to read my drivel. So what was the name of the Luftwaffe POW camp that those involved in the events made famous in the movie The Great escape from? There is a famous Billy Wilder directed Christmas comedy with a similar name. Also a great movie. And we go on to question 10. Question 10 is which illusionist in 2006 completed a stunt in New York's Times Square called Revolution, where they attempted to escape a spinning gyroscope, estimating that it would take 16 hours to do so. But in total, it took over 52 hours for the illusionist to escape. So, which famous illusionist in 2006 completed a stunt in New York's Times Square called Revolution, where they attempted to escape a spinning gyroscope, estimating it would take 16 hours. In total, it took 52 hours for the illusionist to escape. Probably why they don't often do escape tricks. More often, they do tricks where they're stuck in something. So those are your questions for round 2. You have until the top of the hour to get your answers in. So I'll give you 5 minutes. 5 minutes to get your answers in. Use this time wisely to get yourself drinks, snack on a cake. I'm sure nobody else is lucky enough, unless Mark has ordered one for himself, a cake with my face on. I tell you, it tastes much more delicious food. No, I'm going to stop that sentence there. It is interesting raising a piece of cake to your face and seeing yourself watch yourself. Wholly delicious, though. So about 5 minutes to get your answers in. Say toilet breaks, fill up your drinks, and then come back to me and I will reveal to you the answers for round 2, our theme round on escape. So about 3 minutes, less than 3 minutes to get your answers in. In the meantime, I am going to give you a recommendation. If you want a fun way to enjoy my people, my fellow Yorkshire people, I highly recommend watching the YouTube channel Rate My Takeaways. Rate My Takeaway. Wholly enjoyable 30 minutes of food and a very lovely person. So give that a watch. If you're struggling for something else to watch, give that a watch. But don't leave this channel to watch that. All right, less than 2 minutes. Cue the oh bloody hell, what are they called? Caught by the fuzz? Sound grass? Sound? Super grass. Caught by the fuzz. Da-da-da-da. All right, less than a minute to get your answers in. You should think about clicking submit now. The next round will be our music round. As I'm waiting for you, just click you submit on those answers. The music round, for anybody who's new, you will hear 10 songs. They're all covers. And what you need to tell me is the name of the artist and the original name of the... Nah, I'm going to start that sentence again. You need to tell me who originally recorded it, and the name of the song. Very important. The original recording artist, the original singer, songwriter who released it, and the name of the song. You will hear the 10 songs once through, and then you will hear them once again. So 1 to 10, first of all, and then 1 to 10 once more, just in case you missed it. All right, it's ticked over to the top of the hour. So let's go on through the answers of round 2. Question 1 is, what type of animal was Inky? Inky escaped from an aquarium in a daring feat. He was an octopus. If the name Inky didn't give you the clue there, it was either going to be an octopus or a squid, wasn't it? He was an octopus. He was a common octopus, apparently was the name. Poor chap, didn't have much more of a definition than that. 2 was, what is the name of the art and animation studios? I hope you didn't fall foul of this one or you cock it up. It was Chicken Run. You didn't put all your eggs in one basket. Escape from Alcatraz, the movie starring which famous actor? That is Clint Eastwood. It's an okay movie. Although, if you ever are in San Francisco, you must go on the Alcatraz tour. It is brilliant. 4, crawled through a river of shit and came out clean on the other side is a quote from The Shawshank Redemption. It goes, Andy Dufresne, the only person I knew who crawled through a river of shit and came out clean on the other side. Shawshank Redemption. The amazing woman that you see there, whose biography you have to read. Her life story is just incredible. It's Harriet Tubman. The person you see there, the Hungarian escape artist, is Harry Houdini. Of course, made famous in America, where he arrived. Also had a film career and died after somebody punched him in the gut. Yes. E5C4P3 is a 1981 album by Journey. That's where Don't Stop Believin' comes from. Nothing else to say on that one. Which mode of transport did 3 members of the Provisional Irish Republican Army used to escape Mountjoy Prison, Dublin in 1973? They used a helicopter. Yep, in a daring raid, a helicopter flew over, picked them up, and then flew off. I don't know what happened after that. I couldn't be bothered reading anymore. The Luftwaffe POW camp that those involved in the events made famous in the movie The Great Escape. They escaped from Stalag Luft 3. Stalag Luft 3. It's about 185 kilometers to the southeast of Berlin in Silesia. And 10, David Blaine was the illusionist who expected to escape a spinning gyroscope within 16 hours, but in the end it took him 52 hours. Not how much sure of that, I believe, considering he was also the man who was supposed to hang upside down for however many hours, 60 hours I think it was. Yet they let him down every hour to stand upright to make sure the blood wasn't going to his head and so he could go to the toilet. Sort of defeats the purpose, doesn't it? Well, that trick was sponsored by Donald Trump. So who would expect any sort of reality or logic or reason in that one, hey? All right, so the next round we are going on to the music round. As I said, if you open up and prepare the answer sheet, type in your name exactly as you have done between as you have done for round 2 and 1, you will then hear the 10 songs. Once again, what I want is I want the original recording artist and the song title. It's half a point for each. And yeah, good luck.
An old man turned 98. He won the lottery and he died the next day. It's a blank fly in your Chardonnay. It's a death row parted 2 minutes too late. Isn't it ironic? Don't you think? It's like I was born by the river in a little tent. Like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know
just like the white-winged dove, sing a song, sounds like she's singing. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Just like the white-winged dove, sing a song, sounds like she's singing. Ooh, baby, ooh, said ooh. And the days go by like a strand in the wind, in the web that is my own. I begin again. Say to my friend, baby, nothing else mattered. He was no more than a baby then. When he seemed broken hearted, something within him. But the moment that I first laid eyes on him.
And I'd give up forever to touch you, 'cause I know that you feel me somehow. You're the closest to heaven that I'll ever be, and I don't wanna go home right now. And all I can taste is this moment, and all I can breathe is your light. And sooner or later it's over. I just don't wanna miss you tonight. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand.
Empty spaces, reveling in fun about a place. I guess we know the score. On and on. Does anybody know what we're looking for? Another hero, another mindless cry.
There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying.
I see your shadow on the street now. I hear you push through the rusty gate. Click of your heels on the concrete. Waiting for a knock, coming way too late. It seems an age since I've seen you. Countdown as the weeks take a into day. So you come in and put your bags down. I know there's something in the air. How can I do this to you right now? You're over there and I need you here.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sitting in the morning sun, I'll be sitting when the evening comes, watching the ships roll in, and I watch them roll away again. Oh, I miss.
An old man turned 98. He won the lottery, and he died the next day. It's a blank fly in your Chardonnay. It's a death row parted 2 minutes too late. Isn't it ironic? Don't you think? It's like
I was born by the river in a little tent. Like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know.
Just like the white-winged dove, sing a song, sounds like she's singing. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Just like the white-winged dove, sing a song, sounds like she's singing. Ooh, baby, ooh, said ooh. And the days go by like a strand in the wind, in the web that is my own. I begin again. Say to my friend, baby, nothing else mattered. He was no more than a baby then. When he seemed broken hearted, something within him. But the moment that I first laid eyes on him.
And I'd give up forever to touch you, 'cause I know that you feel me somehow. You're the closest to heaven that I'll ever be, and I don't wanna go home right now. And all I can taste is this moment, and all I can breathe is your light. And sooner or later it's over. I just don't wanna miss you tonight. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand.
empty spaces, reveling in fun about a place. I guess we know the score. On and on. Does anybody know what we're looking for? Another hero, another mindless cry.
glitters as gold, and she's buying.
I see your shadow on the street now. I hear you push through the rusty gate. Click of your heels on concrete. Waiting for a knock, coming way too late. It seems an age since I've seen you. Countdown as the weeks take a into days. So you come in and put your bags down. I know there's something in the air. How can I do this to you right now? You're over there and I need you here.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sitting in the morning sun, I'll be sitting when the evening comes, watching the ships roll in, and I watch them roll away again. Oh, I'm just
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by if you smile through your.
It's getting late. Have you seen my mates? Ma, tell me when the boys get here. It's 7 o'clock and I wanna rock. Wanna get a belly full of beer. Real moment's drunker than a bear. Blowing monkeys in my old lady, she don't care. My sister looks cute in her braces and boots. A handful of grease in her hair. Oh, don't give us none of your aggravation, but hide it with your discipline.
Microphone. There we go. Those are your 10 songs. You have heard some legendary tracks, some off-the-cuff tracks, and tracks that will test your knowledge and break down the walls of your world. You have now around about, well, we know Suze likes a little bit extra time. So I'll give you 4 minutes until 21:26. 21:26 to get your answers in. So roughly about 2 minutes to get your answers in. Okay, so that is your time. Oh, really changing white balances there. Whee! It's a disco. That is your time to get your answers in for the music round. I will now quickly read out the answers of said music round, and as requested last week, it's only taken me 33 online pub quizzes to get to this point. What we have for you is a list. I did not do that well, did I? Let's make me a bit smaller, move me up. There we go. So song 1 was Alanis Morissette and Ironic. Song 2 was Sam Cooke and A Change Is Gonna Come. 3 was Stevie Nicks and Edge of 17. 4, Google Dolls and Iris, as recorded in a old abandoned railway carriage. 5 was Queen and Show Must Go On, and if you listen, I'll put all the links at the end of the quiz. If you listen to that, it's actually Mongolian throat singing that will then sing The Show Must Go On chorus. 6 was Led Zeppelin and Stairway to Heaven, the affable favourite. And 7, sung by Lord, with an E, was Powderfinger and My Happiness. 8 was Otis Redding and Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. 9 was Charlie Chaplin and Smile. And 10, Elton John and Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. So those are your 10 songs and artists that will give you the points for the music round. We now swiftly move over onto round 3. And round 3 is our harder round. Harder round. Very Bristolier. All right, which button do I click? There we go. Nope, no, it's the wrong button. Don't know what that's doing there. Question 1. Zeus is to Jupiter as Poseidon is to Neptune as Aphrodite is to. So there's your question 1. Zeus is to Jupiter as Poseidon is to Neptune as Aphrodite is to. Finish it off. There's always something special going on in the background. He did play it on a violin. That's enough for me to get the point. Right, question 2. Named after a famous naturalist, which arched rock formation collapsed in the Galapagos archipelago this past week? So named after a famous naturalist, which arched rock formation collapsed in the Galapagos archipelago this past week? So, named after a famous naturalist, which arched rock formation collapsed in the Galapagos archipelago this past week was your question. 2. 3. What was the name of the then junior journalist for the BBC who used to I told you there's a few questions I forgot to edit. Who used deceit and forgery to gain an interview with Princess Diana in 1995? What was the name of the then junior journalist for the BBC who used deceit and forgery to gain an interview with Princess Diana in 1995? Yet again, another case of if you're big and powerful, you can get away with doing whatever the bloody hell you want. Boris Johnson, Liz Truss, the BBC, every one of those conservative fuckers. Just get away with it all, isn't it? But yes, what was the name of the then junior journalist for the BBC who used deceit and forgery, something that anybody else would have gone to jail for, to gain an interview with Princess Diana in 1995, especially when it was forgery of bank statements? Okay, I think I'm back. Which Latin American capital city is this? That's your question 4. So which Latin American capital city is this? In the image you'll see here. We'll move on though now to question 5. You can always use a little rewind thing to see back. As Caddy points out in the chat, there is a beautiful sky going on outside. I'll give you a preview of that. Preview, it's there. It's all for you to see. There you go. Look at that. That's not an alien, by the way. That's just the red light of the camera. How about that for a view? All right, we'll go. Question 5. He says, he presses the button, nothing happens. 5. Who painted this famous painting? And for an extra point, which television show's opening credits does it feature in? So who painted this famous painting? And for an extra point, tell me which famous television show that ran between 2004 and 2012's opening credits does it feature in? So who painted this famous painting? And for an extra point, which television shows 2004-2012 opening credits does it feature in? I'm going to open another bottle of wine. That's all right for fun. Saturday night's all right. All right, let's move on. Question 6. Oh, God's sake, 6. What D in biology is the term for a cell or an organism that has paired chromosomes, one from each parent? So what D in biology is the term for a cell or an organism that has paired chromosomes, one from each parent? I'm not so fine. Question 6. What D in biology is the term for a cell or an organism that has paired chromosomes? One from each parent. Do, 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 do. We'll move on with question 7. By what alias is Natasha Romanoff more commonly known? By what alias is Natasha Romanoff more commonly known? So by what alias is Natasha Romanoff more commonly known as your question 7? And we go on to question 8. What is the name of the rover that China put on Mars? I can tell you it's not a rover 75. The Midlands haven't produced anything of quality since, well, never. So what is the name of the rover that China put on Mars? It sent back its first images just the other day. That's your question 8. So what is the name of the rover that China put on Mars? That's your question 8. Question 9. World Travel, an Irreverent Guide is a book released in April of this year by and about which famous chef? So World Travel, an Irreverent Guide is a book that was released in April of this year. It's by and about the collection of his works, which famous chef? One of a writer was brought in to finish it off. There we go. World Travel, an Irreverent Guide. Who is that book by and about? Question 9, World Travel, an Irreverent Guide is a book released in April of this year by and about which famous chef? Question 9. And in one moment, we will turn over to the final question of this quiz, the final question of my quizzes. So we move over and on to question 10 of the harder round. That is, what was the name of the computer company that Steve Jobs founded after resigning from Apple, or being forced out, in 1985? So what was the name of the computer company that Steve Jobs founded after resigning from Apple in 1985? Okay, so that's the final question of this quiz and the final question of my quizzes. I will give you until 21:58 to get your answers in. Then we'll move on to the answers. We will reveal who are the champions. Last week's champions were... Who was last week's champions? Don't know. It was Marcus and Co, wasn't it? It was the Cabbage. Oh, where was I? Saturday night's alright. I look forward, Mike, to playing the quizzes in the future. From turning the keyboard warriors upside down onto their head. It was the frozen margaritas and cabbage talent one last week. 2 minutes to get your answers in. Less than a minute to get your answers in. All right, that is it. Your time is up. We go on to the answers for round 4. And they are as... Oh, I've got... Where am I? There I am. Round 4. The answers are as follows. Zeus is to Jupiter, Poseidon is to Neptune, Aphrodite is to Venus. They are, of course, the Greek to Roman gods. 3, named after a famous naturalist. Named after... Congratulations, Carl. You finally did it. You submitted all 4 rounds of answers. Named after a famous naturalist, the arch rock formation that collapsed into Galapagos, collapsed in the Galapagos archipelago this past week was named after Darwin, Charles Darwin, of course. 3, what was the name of the then junior journalist for the BBC who used deceit and forgery to gain an interview with Princess Diana in 1995? It was Martin Bashir. Despite committing forgery, that is a crime, he has never faced any charges for such. 4, and of course the BBC said they didn't do anything wrong after an internal investigation. The Latin American capital city that you see in this image is Havana. 5, the painting that you saw here is by Jan van Eyck. And it featured in the opening title sequence of Desperate Housewives. I was going to ask where was Jan van Eyck from and such, and then I realised that is a whole different kettle of fish that I don't want to go into. 6, the D in biology, that is the term for a cell as an organism that has paired chromosomes, one from each parent, is a diploid. It's a very similar word in German. You can, if you've written it in German, it's fine, and English is fine, obviously. 7, the alias of Natasha Romanoff is Black Widow from the Marvel comics and the up-team number of movies and television shows that they have produced. They just keep going on and on God. 8. What was the name of the rover that China put on Mars? Not the god. It's Surong. Don't make a right. 9. World Travel, an Irreverent Guide is a book released in April of this year by and about Anthony Bourdain. It was compiled by another editor and illustrated by somebody else. I don't care. And the answer for question 10. What was the name of the computer company that Steve Jobs founded after resigning from Apple in 1985? It was Next. Now, those are your answers for this week's quiz. Those are your answers for my final quiz. Next week, your new quizmaster with a series of guest quizmasters will be our very own, the Two Feathers' very own Marcus, a fellow Yorkshireman who I know will continue the trend of grim bitchiness of the online variety. And deal with your keyboard warriors as well as I have done over the last however long it's been. So next week, Marcus will be taking over. Then also make sure you keep up to date with the Two Feathers on Instagram, Two Feathers Beer, and also on the website. So you know what the rules are. Probably the best way to understand the rules, seeing as Berlin has no fucking clue what it's doing. Yes, but yeah, keep up to date with Two Feathers on Instagram is the best way. Mike does post the updates. The opening times currently open Thursday through Sunday from 5 until 9:30 in the evening. For seating in the beer garden alone, make sure you visit twofeathers.beer to make sure that you're fully eligible to do so in regards to corona testing, negative tests, having it, past, not current. And also come along on Sunday and see me. I will be fully masked up, making pizzas for your delight for the final time, as this is the final quiz as well. And I will be there from 5 to 9:30, delivering delicious slices of delight. Trademark. But this is my last pub quiz. As Peter once said, we should get this put on a t-shirt, but this is the last one because I neither have the time nor the brain cells anymore to do it. Trademark me / Two Feathers. Right, let's have a look where we are on the scoring. Nothing coming in. Yes, unless it's exactly the same scoring as last time. Any second now. Just give me a minute. All right. Scars are coming in. Just need a bit of resizing potentially. All right, scores are coming in. So, seems to be a lot of errors with my internet. All right, so this week we had 19 teams playing, understandable considering it is the first weekend of beer gardens opening here in Germany. I haven't seen, So, 19 teams playing for 15 spots. So, here we go. For the final time, myself as a host. I see a thing moving around. I get a bit cautious on the spreadsheet. Here we go, through the scores. In 15th place, on 12.5 points, is Two Fellas, One Pub. In 14th place is Philatext on 17 points. In 13th place, lovely named, massively appreciated, is Hardcore Houdini and the Jizzers. I really appreciate the Jizzers' effort. Every single week to put different names, at least a bit of iteration at the beginning, every single week, differently. 19 points in 13th place. In 12th place, Rita and the Coconuts, 19.5 points. 12th place, 19.5 points. In 11th place, 22 points, is Pub Crawlers. In 10th place, with 24.75, is Don't Fucking Clap. And ahead of them, two teams in 9th place, both on 26.5 points, are the Excelsiors and Deduction Rota. In 8th place, 28 points, Udo and the Jurgens. In 7th place, we have three teams, all on 29.5 points. They are Survivors Los Angeles, King Sperm, and Crypto Pickle. Then in 6th place, two teams, 13.5 points apiece. You didn't spell it out for me this week. Nebuchadnezzar. And in 6th place, also Lynn's Friends. In 5th place, with 31 points, is the West Side Aperol Spritzville. I like that. In 4th place, with 31.25 points, is Gastritis Beach. And in 3rd place, on 34.5 points, Copious Coochie, which brings us down to our final two teams. In 2nd place, with 35.5 points, the Balkan Connection, which means our winners this week, with 36.5 points, So ist Humana, otherwise known as the House Martins. So congratulations, everybody. Congratulations to the winners. Thank you, everybody, for your kind messages. Myself and Mike massively appreciate your support for this pub quiz. Thank you for turning up to those teams who've been with us through and through for all of this for the last however many, 33 weeks. I do appreciate your support massively, as do the two fellas. Join next week as you get to test Marcus's skills with doing an online pub quiz. And hopefully very soon you'll get to do a pub quiz in person with large groups of people and all the stress and such that comes with it, but the excitement and the fun and the socialization that we've all been missing and craving over the last 15 or so months. I choke on some wine, I promise. So it's with that, as I make my final pub quiz online, as I return to my home beautiful county that is Yorkshire, I alas have to say adieu. But I look forward very much to playing the pub quiz myself in the future, to challenging those at the tops or festering amongst those at the bottom. Either way, it will be a challenge. And for everybody who has supported the pub quiz over the course of these 33 online pub quizzes we've done, thank you very, very, very much. And thank you to all those who have given to the two fellas to make sure the pub can remain open and will open very, very soon to all of you, so you can enjoy the delicious food and beer. Deeply, thank you very, very much. It has been an adventure. I've enjoyed it greatly. And once again, of course, congratulations to the House Martins. And to finish off, to say my final farewell for my online pub quizzing, I finish with one of my favourite quotes from the infallible and brilliant architect that is Carl Friedrich Schinkel. There you go, Dylan got him in. Which is, first you must delight, and only then can you inspire. So thank you everybody once again for playing this pub quiz. And until I see you in the chat next week or the week after, I wish you all a wonderful weekend. If you come along to the pub on Sunday, I will see you. But thank you very, very much, everybody, and good night.